channel, and I know that you're used to Chris doing the more cerebral type of videos, but today I'd like to share some information that's very near and dear to our heart, and that is homeschooling. Specifically right now, homeschooling in the state of North Carolina. I know that each county in North Carolina is kind of going by its own standards and own rulings on what to do with students starting in the school year. And a lot of parents are feeling uneasy about how the lack of continuity or virtual learning or half-day schools or the lack of services that are provided are going to affect their family in a negative way. And so if homeschooling is one of the things that's playing in your brain right now, I want you to know that anybody can homeschool their child. You just have to learn with your child. You have to figure out how your child learns best, help them to set goals, and homeschooling can be the most enjoyable experience that you could ever undertake in your lifetime with your children. In North Carolina specifically, you need to contact the Department of Non-Public Instruction because you will be considered a private school. And you need to contact them, and there's a form on their website specifically for homeschoolers, and you will need to submit either a GED or high school diploma. That's all that's required in order for you to teach your own child. They do ask that you operate on a 180-day schedule, your schedule, or 180-day schedule per calendar year, school year. And they also ask that you do some form of testing at the end of the year. Now, these are recommendations. Once you get on the website, you can read all the specifics. If you do not live in North Carolina, the best resource now that I can think to give you would be to go to the Homeschool Legal Defense website and look who the contact would be in your state for opening your homeschool. Compulsory education begins at age 7, but you can open your homeschool sooner, and it ends at age 16, but you can continue to keep your homeschool open after that if you choose to do so. As far as curriculum is concerned, I think that's going to depend on the child. There are a lot of things that public schools have in place that I think they've made Rube Goldberg machines out of the easiest things. My youngest son, we always read to all the children. We always had an hour in the evening where everybody just read. And our youngest son really wasn't interested in reading until he was almost 7 years old. And then I sat down with him with a book called How to Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And I suggest that really across the board for most type of learners. It's really all encompassing. And by the time he finished that book, and we read a few more books, and he was reading chapter books on his own. So that is a great resource. There are a lot of other resources that you can get out there as far as Saxon Math is really, really great for homeschoolers. It builds on concepts, and it's very easy for a person who's not versed in teaching math and being able to teach math to their children. In North Carolina, you can also do what is called dual enrollment when the child turns 16, which means that there are certain classes they can take at the community college on a college level and get some of those classes out of the way. It's not uncommon for homeschoolers to be able to graduate early. Most statistics show that 85% of homeschoolers score so much better on tests and do so much better academically than those peers in public school. So I can only tell you that our experience was wonderful. Our children were not unsocialized. There's lots of homeschool groups with lots of activities. They make lots of friends, and they don't miss out on the things that public schools have to offer, usually as far as proms are concerned. I know our state does a prom. There's a lot of local homeschool groups that do proms if you're worried about that. They also have orchestra, chorus, sports. My husband sat on the sports board for our state for years and years and years and years. Our boys played basketball for state, traveled to competitions all over the country, playing other homeschool teams, and it was certainly a wonderful, wonderful experience. You can think outside the box. Our oldest son, Jeremy, was not a book learner. He very much would delve into something that he was interested in and then come out on the other side totally well versed in what was going on. So when he had an opportunity to spend 2 weeks in Honduras after Hurricane Mitch, we said, you better come back knowing Spanish if you're not going to take the class. And he did. It was a total immersion experience, and he speaks Spanish now. And he also learned about the culture and also learned a lot of good things while serving in Honduras. Our second son, when he was 15, our third son, went to Ground Zero in December after 9/11 and helped with the Red Cross and learned a lot of things, and that's one of the reasons he chose the career path he did, was experiencing some of the things that he learned there. Homeschooling doesn't have to be scary, and I know you're going to wake up and think that if you choose to homeschool that things aren't going well, but every opportunity is a learning experience. And it's one thing we taught our children was to be responsible for themselves. And if you needed to learn something to get from point A to point B, because this was your goal, then let's do that. And we fed into them and encouraged them as much as we possibly could. So if you're thinking about homeschooling and you have any kind of questions specifically to North Carolina, curriculums, how to even get started, you can just shoot me a message or leave a comment down below. This is something that I feel like I'm a veteran with, and don't be scared. Don't be scared if this is an option that fits best for your children, especially during this time when they need to feel safe and secure. So, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Be our friends, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.